I have like a billion DMs right now and emails and questions about Hugh Freeze and Auburn. And the answer is it's not going great. I believe Auburn's going to end up moving on from Hugh Freeze. They lost to Missouri in overtime last night. Now, what's stupid about college football is there are people who will allow their opinion of a coach to swing over the span of 4 quarters. Like last night, had Auburn hit a game-winning field goal instead of Missouri scoring in overtime, there are people who would say Hugh Freeze he's okay, and he's won like 1 or 2 botched officiating decisions from being like 6-1 or something like that. But since they lost last night, that same person says fire him. Well, he's either qualified for the job or he's not. He's either good enough for the job or he's not. And I question a couple of things here specifically. So I question what Hugh Freeze is questioning because I keep listening to him, and I want to give him every benefit of the doubt because I really want Hugh Freeze to win at Auburn because Michael Bratton flat out said Hugh Freeze was going to fail 2 years ago, and I adamantly defended Freeze. And this is going to be a loss for me, I think. It's going to be a win for SEC Mike. It's going to be a loss for Pate State. So we got to schedule a home and home so I can get my get back because I think I'm going to lose on Hugh Freeze. Hugh Freeze keeps questioning the mentality of his team and questioning the toughness and questioning the quarterback and the decision-making. And it sounds like a guy who just inherited a team and he's in year 1. I'm listening to it and I'm thinking, don't you control all this? The mentality of the team, it's your team. It's your organization. Does the attitude of a team and the mentality of a team and the roster, not in an ideal world, reflect that of its head coach? So again, if we're in the first year and you're coaching someone else's guys, like if it's DeBoer last year and he were to have inherited a mess from Saban, he'd have reason. You inherited a mess from Brian Harsin. You had reason to say that in year 1 or year 2. This is year 3. And in case you don't take my word for it, take your own words for it. Hugh Freeze rolled into Atlanta for SEC Media Days and just flat out said, the expectations for us, we should be expected to contend for the college football playoff. He said it voluntarily. I was sitting right there with Kublik. I said, wow, credit him for being honest about that. But man, is that going to get thrown back in his face if it goes sideways this year. And we weren't hearing good things in fall camp. And you watch Jackson Arnold play now, and you listen to what Hugh Freeze says on the record. You get the behind-the-scenes stuff, and they're so unhappy with it. And I'm like, you picked him. You went and got him because you hadn't developed one of your own in-house. You got him. And don't be telling me there was no one available. Dude, Fran Brown went and got Angeli, and Mendoza landed at Indiana. Auburn could have had those kids. They chose Jackson Arnold. They chose wrong. You got a mentally weak team? Those are paraphrased words. Hugh Freeze hasn't outright said that, but he's questioned several different aspects that make me say, if you can't solve those, if you're Hugh Freeze, multi-year head coach at Auburn, and the mentality of the team sucks, and they're mentally weak, and they can't finish games, they can't find ways to win, and the quarterback position's a disaster, well, if you can't solve that stuff, what are you my head coach for? And I think a lot of Auburn fans feel that way, and they should feel that way. This is, again, the 3rd year, not the 1st year, not even the 2nd year. I, more than anyone, was willing to grant him a grace period. I used this microphone several times to say you need to respect the rebuild that they've got on their hands down there. This is not Kalen DeBoer inheriting Alabama. This is the antithesis of that. This is the total inverse of that. I've had other coaches tell me, hey, that job Hugh's got to do at Auburn, that's going to take a couple of years. I fully respected that. It's year 3. Hey, wait just a second. I appreciate you guys watching. Most of you are subscribed. If you're not, please do so. It's free. It helps us keep the show free, and that's how we do college football year-round. All right, back to the video. It's year 3, and it's not working, and also, I'd say the same thing here that I said about Florida State. Like, what am I building towards? What's the future? Now, unlike Florida State, they've recruited well. They've recruited very well. So, I'm not willing to punt on the talent roster there. I still, look, I've got places down deep here where I still believe Hugh can get it done, but it doesn't matter what I believe. It matters what's happening. The results are what matter. And I'm not sure they're done losing this year. And that's in a vacuum. Here's what else we know. What else we know is there's a guy by the name of John Summerall just sitting at Tulane who I think would take this job and who I think would kill it here. And so as much as I say the Florida search probably begins and ends with Lane Kiffin, like you got to find out, is he going to take the job? There's no need to overthink the room here either. Like John Summerall is going to get a major job, whether it's the Auburn job and he wins at Auburn or whether it's another job and he beats Auburn for a long time. He's going to get a big job somewhere. And if I'm an Auburn fan, I'm sitting there, on one hand, I'm just thinking about what I feel about my program right now. But if you didn't like the job Hugh Freeze was doing, but there was no other qualified candidate out there, you'd say, hey, we're kind of stuck with this for a little while. Let's give it some time. Let's see how it plays out. But there are quality candidates out there. And that's the whole flip side of it. It's, all right, I don't like what this says, and then I flip this over, and I love what that potentially could mean for me. So that's the great catwalk that we're balancing on right now. They go to Arkansas this Saturday, and I'm a believer that yesterday kind of sealed Hugh Freeze's fate, but we didn't see any action today. I don't expect any action on Monday, which is tomorrow as we're live. If it goes south at Arkansas, I would expect action immediately. That's the intel I've gotten. I think we've done more hot seat talk on this one show tonight than I've done in the entire past year combined. But we made a decision as a staff a few weeks ago that I wasn't going to cheer for this stuff, but I was going to shoot you straight on what I'm hearing because we knew a very historic coaching carousel season was at hand. This is what I'm hearing about the Auburn job. I think that everything's on the line with that Arkansas game Saturday. I don't agree with that particular approach because if a guy is the wrong guy for your job, he's the wrong guy before that game kicks off. And if he's the right guy for your job, 4 quarters of football doesn't change that. So I never agree with that approach, but I think that's kind of where we are. We don't have odds on this, thankfully, but FanDuel does have odds on everything else because they are the exclusive odds provider of our show. We eternally appreciate them for that. You can go look like we were showing you the Big 12 odds right now. Updated odds, you can go bet them. SEC championship odds, Big 10 championship odds, you can bet them. That Auburn-Arkansas game, which I'm going to talk about in just a second. In fact, I'm going to talk about it, and I'm going to bet it myself in just a second. The Ramen Noodle Express rides exclusively at FanDuel. For new signups right now, you can go FanDuel.com/Josh Pate. If you're a new customer, just a little good news, just a little token of appreciation here. You bet $5 on anything, and it wins. You get $300 in bonus bets.